Welcome, everybody. I'm Jay the Heel. This is the man,
Yes.
Eddie Rocks, and we are Eddie and the Heel. We are here to bring you Smackdown and Raw, WWE, baby.
Yes.
What do you think, man?
Great overall night for wrestling.
Overall night, a great Friday night, Monday night. What do you think? What do you think there, bud?
Monday night was a little tricky.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with SmackDown because that was a lot easier to understand.
Well, it'll roll right into Monday, so
Yeah.
give us a little clue about what's going on last night. So, tell me about SmackDown.
So SmackDown started out with Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio coming out, opening up the show for the night with 619 chants,
Nice.
followed by Mr. Kevin Owens, who's trying to pick a fight with Rey Mysterio, but he's really trying to pick a fight with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, what is up with that? That was really bizarre to have. I wasn't expecting a Kevin Owens having to start off with SmackDown with Rey Mysterio. Who was expecting that one? So
Nobody.
kudos on WWE to really kind of mix that one up because usually it's been Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes all the time, and now it's all of a sudden Rey Mysterio. How did he get so popular so quick? And we'll learn about last night. Rey Mysterio involved with some more things, which is surprising.
I mean, I'm liking that the WWE's actually pushing Rey Mysterio for once. They're not just leaving him to the sidelines.
Yeah.
Everybody's been wanting that for the last month now. Like, everybody's been telling Triple H, you need to push somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio. He's getting up there now. He's soon to be a WWE Hall of Famer.
I was gonna say he's a father of Dominic Mysterio,
Yeah.
so it's crazy to know that he's the dad and he's still out there throwing down, doing 619s.
Like he was a kid again.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just like, whoa.
Whatever you're on, Ray, I need some of it, please. Even though I got the best guns.
He's on that stem cell, whatever it is that he's doing.
Ah, is that what's going on?
Uh-huh.
He still got something good. Hey, so what were you talking about? Kevin Owens picking a fight with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And is that all you got to say about that one?
Yeah, it was just a weird segment, but it was a great segment.
It was really strange.
It was strange, but it was fun.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Way to mix it up a little bit.
Finally, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That people have wanted and begged and pleaded for.
Yeah, interesting. So, in wrestling action, we started out our first match, Naomi and Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Mm-hmm.
Break it down, man. What do you think? What you tell me about that match?
Naomi and Bianca already have issues going on with the whole Jade Cargill thing. So that didn't help things. And then you got Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, who are seemingly being pushed to the side.
Seems to be. Which we'll roll into last night's action. So like I said, it's kind of neat because these past two shows, SmackDown and Raw, really have a lot of balance between the two, especially with the two wrestlers and this the transfer portal being open right now. So
I mean, whatever Triple H is doing, I mean, keep it up, dude. I mean, you're at least doing something good for the fans.
yeah, and as we find out, this would probably be Nia Jax's last match on SmackDown. Will it be?
I don't
Because
know.
of her coming in, actually, she was over on Monday Night Raw last night, which we'll get to. So you're going to notice we're noticing some of these wrestlers from SmackDown are moving over to Raw, some of the Raw going over to SmackDown. This is continuing. So I'm only assuming that it's Nia Jax's last match with Naomi and Bianca defeating Nia Jax and Candice. Leaving that to, what's next for Nia Jax. Is she staying or is she going? We'll continue that conversation when we talk about Monday Night Raw. But let's get to Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes with some wrestling action, some backstage a backstage confrontation that leads to Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Run it down for me, brother.
Apparently, he was saying something about his family. I know that.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what it seemed like. Carmelo Hayes was saying something, and then that's what pissed off Jimmy Uso. Started laughing and thinking it was funny.
Yeah.
And saying something about you didn't win matches or you ran from Braun Strowman or something like that. And then they were going at it, and Jimmy, he just like the fun dude. He was laughing about it, and then that's when Carmelo was like, "All right, you want to fight me? We'll fight. You want to think it's funny now?
Tell him."
So yeah, it was a very great matchup between those two. No contest. The Tonga twins and the
Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo coming out to beat down Bloodline member Jimmy Uso and Carmelo. Nice little big beat down. But Braun Strowman coming out to save the day. Backup question: I saw some articles recently on Jacob Fatu. Somebody noticed that Jacob Fatu, his dress and his attitude lately are reflecting a change coming for Jacob Fatu. You notice lately he's been wearing his cut t-shirt instead of that kind of battle wear gear that he was. So is this him evolving into his own guy? I also saw an article talking about Solo going face, Jacob Fatu turning on him, probably because of losing the Ulafala. So interested to see what comes next, because obviously we have Solo on the outs. Is he? Obviously being a brother of the Usos. So seems to be a lot coming. Maybe these are the things that we've been waiting for, things that make sense. Jacob Fatu being such an incredible talent and such a monster.
I heard he used his real voice the other day. That's what I was hearing.
I don't know.
But I was just like, you use your actual real voice.
All I know is looks like things are changing. It will be interesting going forward.
I'm hoping Roman's coming back this week. I really am.
We'll see. I mean, you know what? I'm just kind of a little frustrated with the whole Roman thing. Hey man, all respect to him and everything. I just, I don't know. I just needs to be some transparency. Like, what's going on with him? Does he just wrestle every once a year? Like,
Well, ever since he's had that leukemia, it's like pretty much.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Ever since because I remember when they talked about with him when the COVID happened and said, because I guess the Miz had it or something, and he got pissed off because somebody didn't tell him, so he kind of was like, really, I'm here.
Well, you tell me, man. You're the expert. So, Motor City Machine Gun versus Los Garces. What do you say, man? Tell me about it. Tell us about. Tell your fans about it.
A weird kind of match because Los Garces hasn't really been pushed. The Motor Machine Guns, of course, they're from TNA, as we all know. Now we can say TNA because they are partnered with WWE.
TNA has partnered with the WWE.
And they are former TNA Tag Team Champions. So
yeah.
Los Garces has never been in TNA, has never been in that environment.
Well, we shall see, huh?
But hopefully they will show up in TNA.
What did you like about the match, Ed?
Great, everything.
Yeah? What did you like about it?
The high flying between both of them.
Yeah.
The back and forth. Just the presentation of Murder City.
Wow, you seem so excited that you actually yawned.
I wasn't trying to.
All right, so Motor City Machine Guns picking up the victory there, right?
Yeah.
So, in ladies' action, Piper Niven versus B-Fab. Piper Niven picking up the big victory. What you think of that match here, my man?
I wish they would push Piper Niven into an actual storyline and BFAB as well, because they're both getting underutilized by the company.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think that, well, I mean, the Piper Niven Chelsea Green thing is going to eventually play itself out. So, which way is that going to go at some point? Maybe at that point, Piper Niven will be pushed.
I don't know what they're doing with BFAB, because it seems like she's been lost. She's been with the Hurt Business. She's been with the Street Profits. Like, I don't know where she's really fitting in at this point.
Well, maybe they're just trying to find a spot for her.
I hope they do.
Seems like there's a lot of things coming. Now they're talking to these 3-hour shows. So with 3-hour shows, it comes with more opportunities for people.
I'm hoping.
Although last night's Raw was not 3 hours, so we'll see what happens with that. So finally, we get to the Kevin Owens Rey Mysterio match. What a interesting match.
Yeah.
Kind of went the way you kind of thought it would be. Kevin Owens being who he is, and obviously Rey Mysterio, although an awesome superstar with, you know, all the action, the moves, just couldn't overcome Kevin Owens. And tell him about the match, because we had a nice surprise ending to that match, huh?
Yeah, we had Kevin Owens defeating Rey Mysterio, and then of course the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes came out towards the end to beat down Kevin Owens.
Yeah, another brawl at the end between those two. Just funny, bizarre. Kevin Owens is a character, I gotta say. They have him coming back, and this new role that he's been playing has been kind of entertaining. So, yeah, it's just funny. And like I said, this week's SmackDown and Raw, the way that they really fit together is that was probably one of the finally something interesting that they're putting together, where they're showing the full product between SmackDown and Raw, and kind of integrating them together. And then finally, to wrap up the night on SmackDown, we have the ladies champ, Tiffany Stratton, versus Bayley.
Which now we know Bayley's on Raw.
And now Bayley has moved to Raw, so we have victory for Tiffany Stratton over Bayley. And I guess with this situation, Bayley just needed a new change.
Yeah. I was hearing something last night, and it sounded like Bayley said something like, "That's why I'm over here," because it either sounded like Nia was saying something to her, like she was scared or something, and it was just like really weird. It's like a really weird segment.
I don't know what to tell you. So, what you think is that SmackDown on Friday?
Tiffy time is interesting.
Tiffy time, yeah.
She's like a version of Britney Spears in like a rich type of way. She's like that rich type of girl that's like, oh yeah, I'm the champion, I'm whatever.
Well, Chelsea Green seems to be a little bit like that too. You got these, these superstar ladies.
But Charlotte's supposed to be coming back, and she may be playing a character sort of like that.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. So, speaking of Raw, since we came from SmackDown and it kind of seamlessly rolled into Raw this Monday, we had an opening segment of Jey Uso and Gunther. So I was wondering what was going on with Jey Uso. Where does he fit? Because we talked about this weeks ago. It's like Jey Uso getting beat down by certain, some of these wrestlers. It's like, where does this put him? Where does this put him in line as far as championships are concerned?
And the question is, why is Jey Uso getting a championship and a world heavyweight championship, considering he doesn't seem to be on that level of a world title?
Well, I mean, he was the champ before, right?
He wasn't a world champ, but he was he was a tag team champ. I know that. I don't think he was ever a singles champion. Except maybe
he was tag, yeah. Okay.
Except maybe the Intercontinental Championship that Braun Breaker.
Well, he had the Intercontinental. So, but then he lost the Intercontinental. Then he lost to guys like Jacob Fatu. He lost to he's just lost. I can't remember all of his matches he's lost, but again, yes. Listen, Jey Uso is a great wrestler. But what has put him in a position to go against somebody like Gunther?
I want to say,
You know.
since his dad's been opening his mouth on a lot of podcasts, that's what I feel like.
So they're pushing Jey Uso.
I
He
think
should have the opportunity.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why I think part of the reasoning is because his dad opened his mouth and bitched and complained at WWE about it and made it into a big deal.
yeah. You gotta watch them words, man. We gotta be kid friendly. Gotta be nice. I'm the heel. You're the face.
I know, but that's why I think he did that, because he complained about it.
Yeah. Now it's we'll see where this goes. Gunther obviously having enough and trying to just kind of sneaking him a little bit, and a nice little back and forth between them two to open up Raw. So we kind of see where this is going. Back to Rey Mysterio action, having already gone against Kevin Owens on Friday Night SmackDown, returning to action to open up the night against the New Day's Kofi Kingston. Why don't you tell everybody what you're talking about earlier as far as why was just Kofi Kingston, and like we had this big return of New Day, but why only Kofi Kingston? Then all of a sudden Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. And you were telling me some news about it was supposed to be
It was supposed to be Penta
and Rey Mysterio.
That was the original plan.
To go against.
That was what the
New Day.
original was.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah, that was the original.
Which would have made a lot more sense. It probably would have been a better show. It would have made a little more sense.
But then why would you want to debut Penta last week on Monday Night Raw when they were thinking that was going to be the mystery surprise for Rey Mysterio versus the New Day?
Yeah.
That was the original plan.
I wonder if something happened. Well, I mean, because Penta did wind up wrestling, so maybe Xavier's hurt? Because Xavier came out with Kofi, maybe something happened with Xavier.
Maybe.
So maybe that's why he didn't go down. Injuries happen, we get it. So interesting start. It just would have probably made more sense that if it was Xavier and Kofi versus Mysterio and Penta. Didn't happen. Rey Mysterio defeating Kofi Kingston in the return of New Day. So what did you think about that?
Interesting attire for Kofi Kingston wearing jeans. We know wrestlers have done that in the past, wrestled in jeans, so that wasn't surprising.
Yeah. So.
But that match overall was just weird.
A weird
yeah.
show. That's what Eddie Roxy has to say about that one.
It was great, but it's also like weird at the same time. Because you've had Rey Mysterio in 2 high-profile matches. I'm glad you're pushing him. I mean, it is his last year in the WWE, so you might as well push him while you can.
Mm-hmm. So Rey Mysterio picking up the defeat, picking up the victory. So segment Kevin Owens face to face with Sami Zayn. Yes, sorry. Had a brain fart. Interesting segment. Are they friends? Kevin Owens kind of laying it down to Sami Zayn, saying that, hey, listen, we're brothers, we're friends. You got my back like you had Roman Reigns' back. What do you think about that segment? What do you think about that face-to-face between old friends and old former tag team champions?
That was fun and interesting because I noticed how he's not picking a fight with Sami Zayn, but he's picking a fight with Cody Rhodes over it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you're not mad at what Sami Zayn did, but yet you're mad at what Cody did? Like, how is that?
Well, he did explain the differences between the two, and I understand where he's coming from with that. So it's either he's setting him up, which would not be something new as far as getting over on Sami Zayn. But then, is Sami Zayn also playing a game himself? Because you don't see a lot of this whole, you don't see Sami Uso thing. I think a lot of the thing has faded away because obviously Sami is his own man. He is not true bloodline, even though he's down with the bloodline. Mm-hmm. And he may be brothers with the Usos and stuff, but they're really good friends. Mm-hmm. I do see some changes coming though. And I'll just talk. Remember, I was telling you before, we had a lot of great matchups tonight. We wound up having a Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre final match of the night. And it makes me speculate. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. There seems to be a lot of things going on between these guys here, which is interesting. A lot of connections. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre with Sami Zayn. And obviously they all have history between themselves anyway. But made me, in my head, think about the Hulk Hogan situation, which will be back on Saturday Night's Main Event. Probably as a heel coming out, because obviously him trying to bring back Hulkamania is not working as planned. So it just made me in my wildest mind thinking of this whole strange Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre thing. Bet me now, I said this to you, mark my words, remember this. A new version of the New World Order, led by the Hulk Hogan, consisting of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. Bringing in a new version of the New World Order. That's just in my own head. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. What do you think about that? Would that be interesting?
Yeah, that would be, because I've been seeing the same thing, and like every day they put up something about Hulk Hogan, and it's like, I feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But when are they gonna pull the trigger? Who knows?
So.
But then, where would that leave Jimmy Hart? That's the other thing. Where would he fit?
Well, Jimmy Hart would be in there too. Just like, remember, if you go back to NWO when it was WCW, you had the one who used to run at WCW.
Eric Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff. He got part of it, right?
Yeah.
You had all the other people that were involved with it. So, obviously, you have the Bloodline clique. You got guys like you got the people in Judgment Day. Now you bring NWO into the fold. Why not? You have LWO, and LWO was
was a version of the NWO.
Yes. Well, the cheaper version of it. So, but still, no. But just think about that, you know? So, I don't know. Could be, maybe not. I digress. So, here we go back talking about SmackDown. One of the matches of the night. Oh, by the way, going back, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. We'll see where that leads. Yeah. Very interesting. We're talking about Kevin Owens plans on winning at the Royal Rumble, being the new champion, and he wants his friend, his brother, Sami Zayn, to walk out the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And Kevin Owens say, "I know you will have my back because you're my best friend, my brother." Yeah. What is up with that? We shall see. You know, there's more coming to that one. So, getting back to, we had some ladies action. This is what I was talking about. From SmackDown, we have Nia Jax defeating Bayley, who is now on Raw. Yeah. Nia Jax on Raw. Nia Jax getting that defeat over Bayley, and it was pretty bad. I mean, she beat her down. One fair and square. So, what is going on with Bayley?
I don't know what's going on with Bayley. I don't know. It feels like with Bayley, she's getting lost in the shuffle again.
Doesn't it?
I know she's on Raw, but I don't know how long that's gonna last, because she could go back to SmackDown again. Yeah. For all that worth, and it's like they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna have a draft." Like, forget the draft. Scrap the draft idea, because it's not really doing anything. You still got the same players coming over to each show. Yeah. You're not really doing anything spectacular. Yeah. Except the only thing they changed was the ring announcers, which they had Alicia Taylor come to Raw and Lillian Garcia go to Friday Night SmackDown.
Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, maybe there's more changes coming. You know, with this whole new Netflix deal, could be more changes coming, adding some more time to each show. Who knows? Again, Nia Jax defeating Bayley. Both of them coming over from SmackDown. In action, for the men's side, new action star, Penta, with WWE. I think Penta, I heard he's like almost 40.
Oh my God.
He's older. I thought he was a young guy, man, but apparently he's like older like Rey Mysterio. So.
I know his brother's supposed to eventually be.
Yeah, I heard that too, that he got released from AEW and he's coming over.
His brother made a big deal because I think Tony Khan of AEW's like treating him with disrespect or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard something about that.
Because of his brother.
Yeah, something. So he said, Penta in some great action against Pete Dunne. Penta is something else. I mean, I'm not a big Lucha Libre guy. You know, I guess it's just a cultural difference with us. I'm not big into I mean, hey, look at me. I'm wearing this. So I do love and respect that, but
because we already have a Lucha Libre.
Yeah, I mean, we have Rey Mysterio.
Like, to have two luchadors on the same roster is kind of like... Okay.
And I think just historically, I can't think of many... I mean, you got Rey Mysterio was something different, but I mean, really in the lucha category, thinking of the great stars, you don't think of... You think of the status of Rock. You know, The Rock and Stone Cold, you know, and no lucha has ever gotten to that point. So that's all I'm saying. I think they're exciting. I think, you know, there's a lot of rich history behind that, and that's great. So, but, you know, it's not as appealing to me as, you know, something, you know, on that status of The Rock and, you know, some of those stars. I think it just, you know, the mask obviously is a hidden commodity. I mean, it's great for its genre, but, you know, as far as ascending to the heights, there has to be some change, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Penta, what an amazing talent. Yeah, he defeats Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne's an amazing talent, too.
Yeah, he's interesting also. I just don't know where he fits in. You know what I mean?
It's like, where are all these... It's like, it's a 3-hour show, but yet you have all these stars and they're really not fitting in where they should be. And you're not pushing them.
I don't know. I mean...
I don't get it.
I just don't understand where Pete Dunne fits in all this, and I think that he needs a place to go. Because in singles action, is he just the guy that everybody beats up on? Or does he have purpose? What is his purpose now? And what is his purpose going into down the road? We'll see. I don't know. Maybe there'll be somewhere...
What happened to him versus Sheamus back in the day?
Yeah, I don't even know.
That totally took another different turn.
I think he needs to be in part of a faction or a tag team. I just don't know if he fits by himself.
His original tag team partner should be coming back.
Who's that?
Tyler Bate. Because he was part of a tag team with Pete Dunne.
Oh, really? Well, he used to be with... Who was he with? He used to make fun of Pete Dunne. He used to call him... Butch. Who did that? Who was that?
R-Truth.
R-Truth. There you go. So, interesting. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do with Pete Dunne. CM Punk back at Raw. What did you think about his segment?
Interesting segment. And then you put the words Hulk Hogan in it.
He's like, John Cena, you can't see me.
To put Hulk Hogan in it and to talk crap about him. Like, that...
He said he's going to end Hulkamania.
And that was the loudest I've heard the crowd ever get. That was just...
Oh, I can't wait till Hogan comes back in the heel zone.
I can't wait. I would love to see CM Punk.
Come to the dark side,
I would love
Hogan.
to see Hulk Hogan versus CM Punk. That would be a dream match to see those two go at it and see what I would love to see them in a segment and see what that's about. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, but
CM Punk and Hulk Hogan.
That would just not be fair, though. I mean, Hogan is old. Hogan is not wrestling shape anymore.
Apparently, he's the grandfather now. So.
Well, either way, I know a lot of these stars are grandfathers, but I mean, like, Hogan is just way too old and beat up to go against a guy like CM Punk right now. And, you know, Hogan did his time. I think he's going to come back as a, you know, in a Paul Heyman fashion, something like that.
I hope eventually they're gonna treat him like Paul Heyman, and then he's gonna eventually get people to respect him. And
I mean, that's what I think he was hoping that was going to happen, but he realizes at this point he needs to step into that heel role like he was with the NWO, with the WCW. I think it's that simple. I think that's the only thing that's going to work for him, but we'll see what happens. Excuse me, everybody. So, tag team action. Women's tag team action. We had Damage Control, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai taking on Shayna Baszler and my girl, Zoe Stark.
Pure Fusion Collective
Pure Fusion Collective.
Damage Control.
I just can't ever remember those 3 words, so it's a sorry.
It's like Fatal Influence on NXT. It's hard to surmise their
Well,
name.
at least you remember them. I just couldn't remember what their name was. It's too much
kind
for me.
of weird because it's like you got Fatal Influence, another women's faction on NXT, then you got Pure Fusion Collective, a female faction on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then Damage Control, that was nothing new because that was run by Bayley. So.
Yeah. So, Dakota, Io, Damage Control defeating the, what are they called? Pure Fusion Collective?
Pure Fusion Collective.
Yes. Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler losing.
I mean,
again.
I feel like Zoe Stark's, again, like, I like Pure Fusion Collective, but I feel like there's something not right with it because
This doesn't, they're trying to piece people together that shouldn't be together, I think.
It's that, and it's that Zoe Stark, when she talked about at that, when she talked about Comic-Con about having her own action figure, it's like, I figured right after she did that, I thought they would have pushed her to break out, be a single star. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, we're going to keep her in a faction and not have anything for her.
Yeah.
At least push her.
Yeah.
Give her a title match.
Well, that's the thing too. When you make tag teams like this, and you it's tough to have these factions and then push singles action for championships.
And then you got Shayna Baszler, who's been in MMA, and she's also a single star, not being pushed. Like you have all these factions, and you're not pushing any of the females in the factions that can do stuff as single stars.
Yeah, but that's a problem when you have tag teams and factions. They're not being pushed for the big, the big belts.
You're not using the women's tag team titles, so they're a waste, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you ain't doing anything with them.
It is interesting. Yeah, I mean they need to.
Except what? You're gonna give it to Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend the tag team title? Like,
no.
Why are you gonna give it to NXT superstars? Like,
I think that's where they're going to have to start going. I mean, like, some of these tag teams just don't make sense. Or the problem is they don't last long enough to become relevant. Like, back in the day, you had teams like the Road Warriors. You had, well, for a long time, you had the Hardy Boys, like pure tag teams. Guys that just work together correctly, But, I mean, obviously you have some good tag teams, the new the tag team champions now, the big guys.
the Viking Raiders?
Yeah, the War Raiders. Like those guys kind of go together. They're supposed to be a tag team, right? You're not going to think about them at this point as single guys. They're tag teams. Think about the thing. Like I said, back to the days, Demolition. Road Warriors, Hardy Boys, stuff like that. So.
It's like they were actual tag teams that were staying
They
together.
need that with the women's division, which I thought, I think the whole Damage Control, stuff like that. Actually, it's just finding the right tag team fit for a lot of these.
The Bella Twins. Huh? Look, when the Bella Twins came in, I mean, they were an actual tag team.
Yeah. Well, I thought that Bianca Belair and Jay McCargan was a great tag team.
There was no
but obviously
to...
things went wrong with that. Yeah. And that, I think, didn't last as long, and maybe they didn't fit together as well. Because I just don't see Bianca and Naomi just
coming out of nowhere being champions. It's just weird.
It's a tag team inconvenience, not,
And Jay's going to come back and be pissed and be like, yo, what's going
That's
on?
That's my belt, you know.
Like, I want that belt back. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be the problem, and I'm gonna feel bad for Jay because it's like she got pushed to the side right after that. Whatever happened to her, it felt like she got pushed to the side and like, oh yeah, we're not gonna do anything with you when you come back.
Yeah.
We can care less. Like, hello, you wanted her from AEW so bad, you wanted her so bad, and now you're gonna just keep her on the sideline? That was a waste of money, and just to get a talent that you really ain't doing nothing with.
Yeah. So, to wrap up Monday Night Raw, we had a surprise match. What is this? Is a feud going on? What's going on? We have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. It's very interesting. This is an interesting match because it seems like McIntyre didn't want to go against Seth Rollins, but they wound up going at it anyway. What's going on with the situation?
I have no clue at this point because it's like there's so many moving parts, and it's just like you got Seth Rollins and Drew going at it, and I don't know where this is going.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting storyline. I'm glad they moved away from the bloodline stuff.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, what is going on? This is why I come back to this. They're creating this somehow because, well, with this match, Seth Rollins defeating Drew McIntyre, rolling him over, getting that, securing the victory, surprising Drew McIntyre losing it, winds up attacking Seth Rollins, takes him outside, puts his head up against the corner to get ready to kick him. Sami Zayn comes out to save the day, and then winds up kicking Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Accidentally, or was it an accident? Or what is going on? Because I go back to the whole thing with the Hulkster.
Yeah.
Creating this new faction. You got all these moving parts, like you said. And like I was saying earlier, Sami Zayn seems to be involved in this. Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, just seems like there's some kind of little weird connection going on between these guys. And I just feel like something is coming. Something big is coming. And it's going to involve these guys.
Yeah.
With Drew McIntyre, with the way he's presenting himself, all these guys being kind of like, I don't know. I just think there's something coming, and it involves all of them together. We'll see what happens. It just compels me, So, so I don't know. What did you think? SmackDown, Raw. Give me your overall views of the shows together.
Together as a whole, they were good. There was 2 different segments that were very interesting. That basically, I want to say, the 2 of them with the Kevin Owens thing really stands out.
Yeah.
And I look at it because with the SmackDown one and then the Raw one of those 2, they stand out. The CM Punk thing, I kind of was like, it was an okay segment, but we pretty much knew CM Punk was going to be in the Royal Rumble. There was no reason to explain it to us because that's pretty much what they've said for the last month now.
Who, Punk?
Yeah. We pretty much knew Punk was going to be in the Rumble, so the segment was kind of a waste, personally.
Yeah. On
Raw last night, I mean, they could have done something else because you pretty much knew he was going to talk, and that wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Wasn't like, oh, he's going to be in the Rumble, let's keep it a surprise. He's pretty much talked about it every single time. So.
Yeah. All right, man. No, I mean, it was, I liked how SmackDown and Raw connected this week from Friday into this Monday. Not a bad night last night. I am interested in some of these new storylines developing and kind of fading away from some of the older storylines. Right now, the Bloodline seems to be taking a back seat. So that'll be interesting.
Which I'm happy about because you don't have the Bloodline all the time now. And it's kind of good that the Bloodline is taking a back seat because it's like you got all these other storylines and you've got so much time on your hands without the Bloodline storyline that you can develop characters. And you can put people in feuds and matches that are not normally in feuds.
Yeah. No. All right, man. So, what are you looking forward to? If you don't know this, Jay the Heel's favorite team, Washington Commanders. Eddie Rock's Eagles fan.
Yes.
This weekend at Philadelphia, my Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think, brother?
The biggest title on the line.
Big title on the line.
It's not a wrestling belt, but it could be.
Yes.
Because now that the WWE has partnered with the NFL to create these championships, which I think are pretty cool. Because they had these championships with like Eagles logo or Washington's logo, and they give them out to whoever wins that night.
Nice.
Which I think is pretty cool. That
Yeah.
WWE's done that.
There's a lot of connection here. You got Pat McAfee with the NFL, and the WWE. So I'm excited, man.
But it's not.
One of our teams will be going to the Super Bowl.
It's not like the WWE teamed up with the NFL before, because they had with the XFL. Vince did that back in the day. So it's not like this is the. It's not like we're like, oh, this is the first time they've teamed with the NFL. No, they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
So it ain't a surprise.
All right, brother. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I want you to check out my man Eddie's here YouTube channel, The Eddie Show.
Yes.
At Big E Angel. Again, it's at BIGEANGEL, his own show.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us at the Eddie and the Heel Show.
Yes.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Some great Smackdown, some great Raw. Why don't you say goodbye to everybody and bring us out?
I hope you guys have a great day, a great evening, and we'll talk to you next week. And please join me on my show next, because we are going to talk about a little bit about football on my channel. So get ready.
All right, take care, everybody.
Later.